Good kill, good kill. Okay, good kill.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're here in the F-16 Viper and we're going to be fighting the Su-30SM Flanker H. So this is obviously the variant that you've seen in past videos with the 3D thrust vectoring. This is going to be a guns only fight, so it should get interesting here. Because of the thrust vectoring, I think he'll behave similar to like an F-22 or a Su-30SM, so there should be some interesting maneuvers in this fight. Into the merge here, we'll try to take him 2-circle. That worked. Got him in a 2-circle turn here. Obviously this is what the Viper wants. Viper is always going to want 2-circle turns. When we did this fight in the past, Sukhoi 30 versus F-16, the Sukhoi 30 won because we allowed Fox 2s. This is what the Sukhoi 30 is really built to do. Come to the merge, do one really nice pull, use the helmet-mounted queuing system to get a high off-bore sight archer off and kill whatever it merged with. In this scenario, because it's guns only, the F-16, you know, it favors what the F-16 likes to do. The F-16 is one of the best gunfighters in the world, so we're going to see how the Sukhoi 30 puts up with the F-16 in this kind of scenario. He went for the vertical, and so we're going to turn with him here. We got him in a vertical fight. Really, I want to keep my speed above 350, which is, I'm literally below it now at 280 knots. At about 350, if I don't get super slow, it's very difficult for him to force 1-circle fights from here. And, you know, we should be able to continually force him into a 2-circle. Never pulling him into the HUD unless I want to kill him. As soon as I start pulling him to the HUD, I'm losing energy, I'm bleeding energy in order to do that, and energy is going to be very important for me in this fight. As you can see, I'm so far holding on a 2-circle turn here, and it's working for me. He dips into the clouds, so I will give chase. You can see him, I don't want to lose visual on him. He's right there, there we go, still got him. Beautiful rainbows. Very nice. Staying with him here on the 2-circle turn. And right now he's defensive, and mostly because he dropped his nose to go into the clouds like that, he opened up angles for me. I tried to pull him into the HUD, but he tightened down that turn. And I'm a little slow here, so this is a little bit dangerous for me. I'm going to be very careful here. If I start getting too slow, he's going to start doing that thrust vectoring stuff on me, and that's going to end poorly for me. Nice and easy. So in most cases, look at that, he's dropping his nose like that. Once the Viper can drag something down to the deck like this, generally it's like a python wrapping around its, you know, whatever it's going to eat, its prey, and it's very dangerous. The Sukhoi 30 entered this raid fight on the deck here with decent amount of energy, and I'm a little slow at 330. I really want to be around 430, so I'm about 100 knots slow. He came in pretty good, and so you can see him kind of ripping around the circle. And even if he's not in his sustained rate speeds, look at him, he's bringing that nose around. That's his thrust vectoring, pointing that nose, incoming rounds. Tried to jink those rounds, a little late, lucky that he missed. You can see he's very slow, but that nose keeps pointing. That's thrust vectoring. He just keeps pointing that nose at me. But you can see it's just not enough. Like he keeps trying, but it's just not enough. He only managed to get one set of rounds off, and that whole time that he was trying to pull me in got him super slow. He bled his energy for that, and you can see the Viper absolutely raiding around now. Pull him into the HUD here. We're going to go for the kill. Locked, and look at that, he uses thrust vectoring to roll over top. Wow, what a move. Okay, he's slow and he just did that, which tells me he's even slower, so I'm going for the vertical. I'm going where he can't follow. And look at this, he's going to try to ditch out of this. I'm going to come top down. We got a lock. I'm on his 6. Don't hit the ground. He's trying to build aspect. Pull him into the HUD. Splash 1 Sukhoi 30. Wow. Usually a flanker in a guns-only fight is not that difficult for a Viper. That was actually a hard fight. That was a hard fight. Great fight to the Sukhoi 30. The thrust vectoring in the Sukhoi 30 is very interesting. In some situations, it really saves him. You know, he pulls really hard, he does like a little backflip, and it saves him. In other scenarios, when he's, you know, pulling hard with the thrust vectoring, it's actually slowing him down and it's getting him killed. So, the thrust vectoring, I mean, I wouldn't want to not have it, but you got to be careful with where you use it. We're going to do a split S here. This might not work for me, but let's try it. Do something different. Now, unlike other flankers that we've done dogfighting with in the past, the Sukhoi 27, the Sukhoi 33, the older variants that maybe didn't have thrust vectoring, this thing behaves a little differently. Because as you dogfight, you kind of learn where to look for the bandit. You know, if it crosses your 6, left to right, you know to look on your right, you know, high or low, depending on where you're expecting to see him. This thing doesn't really move quite like that. Other aircraft that are like that are like the F-22 and the Sukhoi 57, where you expect them to be somewhere and you look and they're not there, because they're just moving a little differently because of the thrust vectoring and the high AOA capabilities. This Sukhoi 30 is very similar to that in the sense that it points its nose when you kind of don't expect it to. Dodge those rounds there. And I'm gonna look at this. He's got me defensive here. I'm into the clouds. And let's see if we can turn the tables from in here. I'm at 500 knots. This is not good. You're way too fast here. At this point, I'm making circles the size of Texas. You know, if you're way too fast, your circles are massive. So I gotta start bleeding that down. I'm gonna pull the AB. And, hold on, 617 knots is even worse, but it is keeping me alive right now. I'm gonna switch the fight into a vertical fight because of how fast I am. And we're going to see if that Sukhoi can keep up. On the way down, gravity will increase my speed again at 580 knots. This is not good. I got to get this under control. The Viper is like a bat out of hell, how fast this thing goes if you lose control of the speed. We got it down to about 430 now, 400. 390. Okay, we're good here. Look at that thing. Look at it point its nose. Wow. Very impressive. Sukhoi 30. So my inability to control the speed of the Viper down low has allowed him to become offensive on me. And the sheer size of the circles I was making, but you can see he's having trouble pointing his nose, or he doesn't want to, I should say, because it'll make him too slow. He might fall out of the sky, or it might be slow enough that I can outrate him. So he's trying not to go there, although he did just take some rounds there that were somewhat close. You see he had to ditch out of pulling into the HUD. And he's looks like he's going to do some Sukhoi 30 stuff with his thrust vectoring. He went up top and did a loop. Look at that. That's only the kind of stuff you see from thrust vectoring. I'm going to pull up and avoid his nose. I don't want none of that. And then I'm going to chase a 6. See if we can get this into that 2-circle configuration that I want. Look at this. Oh, wow. Oh, he's really making use of his thrust vectoring. Very nice. Alright, we got him in that 2 circle for now. He's once again trying to create difficulties for me by reversing turns. Look at this, very nice. He just turned around and pointed at me. Not often you see that. I'm going for the vertical in case he's super slow. And look at that, he pointed his nose at me again. He's providing quite the challenge here. And honestly, a lot of it is just the way that thing is moving. I'm not used to something moving like that while you're dogfighting it. Look at this, he's got my 6, he's got me defensive. Oh, he hit me. Alright, punch out. Oh. Okay. Alright, mistakes were made, but that was a good kill. Good kill to the Sukhoi 30, /1 Viper. We'll get him in the next round. It's interesting because the thrust vectoring is actually, you know, I think once you adapt to it, I was going to say that the thrust vectoring kind of makes the thing move in weird ways that makes it difficult to dogfight. But I feel like if you're used to this kind of thing, you can actually defeat that, you know, the Sukhoi 30. I'm getting a little bit more of a read on how this thing moves in a dogfight, so maybe this round we can do something interesting and hopefully lock it down and kill it. Although, you know, I think it'll constantly be a challenge. The other thing to consider is that you got to keep a pretty significant distance when you're on his 6, because he can do some wild moves. Into the merge here, looks like this time we're going 1 circle, but I'm using vertical. A lot of it. I just kind of turned in a certain direction. I should have forced the 2 circle, of course, but, you know, we're here already. I allowed him to dictate the first turn, and he went 1 circle, took a shot at me there, which luckily missed. And which is another reason why you don't allow him to dictate the fight, right? Because he took that shot. He very well could have not missed, and this fight could have been over immediately. We're at 488 knots in a vertical fight with him at 14,000 feet. So I feel pretty good. He's going to cash that in. Looks like you can, every time I see underbelly of the Sukhoi 30, that tells me he's trying to pull lead. It also tells me he's cashing in energy. So not only do you have to think about your own energy state as you're flying these fights, you have to also think about his. When is he slow? When can I pull him into the HUD because he's vulnerable? When should I go vertical because he can't follow? Right, all of these questions. We're at 370 knots now. And we are offensive on the Sukhoi 30. Again, keeping decent separation because he can do some wild moves. If he really starts to cash in his thrust vectoring, he'll be really slow, and that thrust vectoring will actually get him killed because it'll bleed all of his energy, make him a stationary and easy target. If he uses it correctly, which he has done several times so far, he becomes a very difficult target to kill. Look at this. Oh, that was close. I should have really killed him there. I was just a few millimeters off. Basically what he did there was the equivalent of a turn reversal, and I really should have punished him for it. I should have pulled him into the HUD and killed him right there and then. But we'll continue to be patient continuing to, you know, fight him 2-circle, allow him to bleed his speed, wait for a vulnerable moment to pull him into the HUD when he's super slow and can't do anything, when there's no retaliation possible for the Sukhoi 30. Trying to get my speed as I pull into this raid fight with him, but it's really, I'm super slow. He came around and took some rounds. Wow. I think I might be lucky to be alive. So the mistake there for me was that I got too slow. Once again, we said we never want to be below 350, but you know, ideally 400. I got too slow there. He ripped around the circle. He used his thrust vectoring to point his nose and get rounds off. Look at this, he's doing it again. He's cashing in energy for these shots, but I would too, because they're coming pretty close actually. These are some nice shots he's taken. And that is one of the advantages of having maybe the thrust vectoring that gives you a little bit more AOA, is you can point your nose in situations where other aircraft may not be able to. You see those rounds going like really close behind me. They're really close. He's just not able to pull the lead that he needs to get the kill. He's off by like millimeters on his HUD. And I'm really just trying to get my rate speed. He should eventually fall off. He can't keep this up forever, pointing his nose like that, because that's costing him energy. I'm going into the vertical to get him to point his nose up and bleed more of his energy. Back down at 380, 460. And look at that. Now we're in a position where he can't point his nose at me, and he does appear to be a little bit slow, and I'm really ripping around the circle now at 430 knots. And he's slow, and look at this. I've got a little bit of an altitude advantage that I can cash in for a little bit more speed if I need it. But from here, I should be able to basically wrap it up, assuming I don't screw it up in the last second here. There we go, just trying to fix the angles a little bit. I am slow, because he is pulling hard. But I'm just trying to reposition to get a good angle here. He's going to try to reverse. Yeah, there's that thrust vectoring. Oh, wow. That is really annoying. Nice. That was a really slick move, but he's very slow, and I went into the vertical because once again he can't follow me up here being that slow. I'm going to drop down on top of his head. He's got to recover his speed. And look at this. I got a 6 o'clock. Let's wrap it up. Gunshot. Come on. Oh, oh, got his tail. Spun him out. Nice. And nicked his tail there. He lost the control surface, rolled him over, and he's out. Splash 1, Sukhoi 30. Whew. Had to work for that kill, man. That thing is hard to kill. What a great fight.